Okay, we have a 1500 point battle report for you today. I'm using my Necrons, playing a weird list with weird foot stuff. I'm basically just experimenting each game now, so I've just got this weird list of stuff with some stuff I haven't tested yet. Like, for instance, the Catan shard over here, Writhing Worldscape, and Thunderbolt. We got our Spyders, we got a giant group of Scarabs, we got a gigantic group of 20 warriors with a Phaeron Lord over here. Got the Res Orb, got a bunch of other stuff. Destroyer group, one group, two of each inside the group, the Heavy and the Regulars. We have a unit of Immortals over here, and I've attached a Eldritch, sorry, not an Eldritch guy, a guy with the stave that makes, the Tremorstave, makes people take dangerous terrain tests. And these guys are deep striking, a unit of 10 Flayed Ones. So they're going to try a deep strike in. We're playing objectives, one objective here, one objective way back there somewhere, I don't even know where, amidst this wall of metal. And I'm facing a Imperial Guard player with just a wall of metal. It's a parking lot of vehicles, some big stuff, guys inside here, a huge unit of infantry over there. Good God, what the heck is all this stuff? I might just get cleaved down, we'll see what happens. And my opponent can choose to steal initiative if he wants.
Alright, let's do it.
No, couldn't steal, I got it too. Okay, so I am going first. And okay, so rounding up top of turn one for Necrons, what happened? These guys moved up. I decided not to run them because I'm keeping them in terrain so they keep the stealth. I made, these two guys made two Scarabs, and then they ran 5 inches in their turn. The Catan moved up, fired a Thunderbolt at that tank over there, the Chimera, but hit, but couldn't penetrate with strength 9, unfortunately. This guy over here, they moved up a few inches, so they couldn't really fire because they rapid fire. However, this guy's the Tremorstave, fired into there and connected. Didn't kill anybody, but managed to make them treat the terrain as difficult, which will be dangerous because of the Catan next turn. These guys moved up because of the Phaeron rule. They were able to. 12 of these guys were in range, and they blew off the heavy flamer over there, and they also made it so he can't move or shoot. These guys over here, I kept these two buddies behind cover. These two guys came out and fired at that guy over there because he's a Hellhound. Unfortunately, I only immobilized him, although that does help though, so he's immobilized for now. Couldn't do much else to him though, and that was about it. So we're on to bottom of turn one for Imperial Guard. Here we go. Rounding up bottom of turn one for the Imperial Guard. A little bit of an unlucky turn. These guys popped out. Got an order from that guy, bring it down on this Catan. The Catan says, you're going to try to bring me down? That's not possible. These guys managed to hit him a bunch of times, wounded him a few times, but his 4+ invulnerable held. He took no wounds there. Over here, a hail of fire into these Scarabs. Combination of Hellhound, which was too far away to target these guys, so he targeted these guys. Other stuff held out, but then finally one guy died. So one guy still got 3 wounds, the other guy's just dead. Shooting into here, tried to nuke into here, but drifted away with, I think, the Medusa and killed like 2 or 3 of these guys. Another, the battle cannon fired. Oh, sorry, battle cannon was too far away, so my opponent very smartly aimed over here and helped kill these guys. Something else fired into these guys, blew away. You know, the 4 of them died. 1 of them returned with reanimation protocols. And that was about it, actually. Not a lot of other shooting. Those guys were very smart. They did not move in their movement phase, despite being hit with a Tremorstave, and then they just decided to run. But they only rolled 1 inch for run, so I guess they got punished for being smart by not taking dangerous terrain tests. Okay, so on to turn 2 for Necrons. Okay, just a little mid-turn wrap-up, because there's a massive melee combat starting. First of all, Catan had to make a decision. You know, I had so many resources here, so I sent him this way. He's going to go after Mooks, unfortunately. Killed a guy with a Thunderbolt, just obliterated a guy with a las cannon shot, and charging in there. These guys fleeted, they ran I think 2 inches. They managed to move a good 4 or 5 inches, so they're 12-inch charge. They're already across the board. Look at this. One vehicle that's immobilized, the Hellhound over there. One guy that is not immobilized, and this guy was immobilized from shooting, so he's going to be in real trouble. I immobilized him with shots from the heavy destroyers, so he's just going to be in real trouble. And this guy managed to move up, made a destroyer, didn't take a wound, and then moved and charged that vehicle. You know, let's round up the rest of the turn, just so you know what happened. These guys fired into here, killed nobody. They made like 7 or 8 saves, but they are still quaked. And these guys here fired in against this vehicle. Oh, sorry, they were the ones that immobilized this guy. These guys were the ones that immobilized that guy. So it's very unlucky for my opponent, but we're going to try to make use of this lucky turn of events for us and see what we can do. Back. Okay, so what happened over here? Catan unfortunately only killed 1 guy, whiffed a lot of attacks, got 2 hits in, but then rolled a 1 on one of them, so he only killed 1 guy. Of course, they couldn't hurt me in return, they're only strength 3, but they stuck around on leadership. Over here, absolute carnage. I've never seen anything like this. I mean, I've never even imagined that GW would produce a unit like this. Like, this vehicle was immobilized, 5 bases attacked it, we lowered it, we just hit it automatically with, out of 25 attacks, lowered its armor by about 13 points, just, it's actually wrecked, actually. I don't know why, it should be there still, but, well, I guess it'll be terrain there.
It is right, yeah.
Yeah, there's terrain there. This guy over here charged in, he was immobilized with his 3 attacks, monstrous creature, wrecked that guy as well. Those guys popped out. They unfortunately got pinned. These guys that were in here,
this one's wrecked?
yeah, that one's wrecked.
Also,
Yeah.
these guys don't die then.
Yeah, they shouldn't be dead. Over here, what happened? They explode 4 or 5 bases. They had to hit 4+ to hit because the vehicle moved. They hit him a bunch of times. They lowered his armor down to 5, so then these guys were able to just destroy it, and it exploded. And a bunch of guys died, but they didn't get pinned. Over here, these 3 bases managed to auto-hit that immobilized Hellhound and just exploded it again. An explosion actually killed one of my bases and lowered another base down to 1 wound. So some of my guys have started dying. We actually killed, I think, 4 or 5 guys from that unit with the explosion that got them over there. Over here, these guys deep struck in. I was trying to deep strike them over here behind some cover, but they drifted all the way over here. So now they're out in the open. They're probably going to get gunned down by some shooting from these guys. But so be it. And that was about it. So total carnage, 3 vehicles explode, some troops there, but he's going to be able to charge my guys now, so we're going to see what happens. Just a little roundup here. My opponent's counting how many guys he has in. These 2 units that weren't pinned decided to charge in against my Scarabs, try to punish them for their insolence. And Scarabs are going to take a beating, I bet. And we are going last because their initiative's higher than ours. So it's going to be pretty interesting combat over there. In the meantime, this guy's still tied up. We'll round up the whole turn. Okay, so rounding up the whole turn. I know the suspense is killing you. The Scarabs got whittled down to a single wound on a single base. Granted, we had some pretty bad luck on saves, but I mean, that unit, power weapons galore in here. 12 wounds caused, 5 power weapon wounds. We failed all but 2 of them. Actually, sorry, we basically, whatever it was, we lost by 14, and then we only made 2 saves on the remaining Scarabs from the Fearless. So 1 guy's up 1 wound, but he is tying these guys up. I guess that's good for something. Over here, these guys, when they deep strike and ran 2 inches, they got gunned down to 1 guy. But I was lucky that 1 guy survived, so the unit did not get wiped out. But I only rolled for 3 guys to come back, which I guess is average. That's pretty average on 5s. And these guys got decimated by a shot from that missile there with the triple hits, the D3 hits. Killed 14 guys, but I rolled and all but 3 came back. Oh, sorry. It did 14 wounds. Something like 7 guys died, and 5 of them came back because of the Res Orb. That was about it over there. This guy moved up and popped smoke, so he went 12, popped smoke over here. Catan managed to kill 3 guys, but these guys rolled exactly enough to stay in combat. They rolled their 5s, so they stuck around in combat. And that is it. On to turn 3 for Necrons. Okay, rounding up top of turn 3, what happened? These guys moved out a little bit, fired everything into here. He had cover up, but we managed to immobilize him. Nothing else, though. Catan finally cleaved through those guys, consolidated 5 inches this way. That poor 1 lone Scarab just got eviscerated, of course. I actually just picked him up and removed him. I mean, there's no way he wouldn't have died. Consolidated 3 inches, consolidated 4 inches. Tomb Spider rolled in there, and that vehicle hadn't moved, so he exploded it. But from the explosion, he got wounded, and he failed his armor, so he actually took a wound from the explosion of the giant death rocket thing. These guys over here were too far to do anything, so they just moved up and ran, I think, 3 or 4 inches. These guys here helped fire at a unit. They fired at the unit that was back there, and the unit ran off the table. These guys over here tried to fire at that vehicle, but he actually had cover from their guns because of the wreck over there. So they penetrated him, but he made his cover save. And that's about it. So we're on to bottom of turn 3. Bottom of turn 3 wrap up. There's a huge combat starting here. This squad of guys said, to hell with it, for the Emperor, and they charged in. Huge combat going on there. Pretty exciting. Okay, so rounding up that massive combat. Terrible round of dice rolling by the guardsmen. They needed 4s to hit, 5s to wound. They only caused 4 wounds by some terrible rolling, and I managed to make all my saves on the unit. He tried to put 12 power weapon attacks into the Lord, but he actually managed to get 2 wounds on him, which is impressive because he needed 6s. But then I made one of the saves with a 3+ phase shifter, and then we killed 9 guys in return. So they lost by 8. However, they were stubborn, so they stuck around. Over here, Melta shots into the Catan. Took some wounds, but saved most of them except for 1. Down to took 1 wound there, so he's down to 3. Those guys there got an order: fire on my target. They gunned down that poor Tomb Spider with plasma guns. 8 plasma shots, obliterated him. And that was it. So we're on to top of
Okay,
turn
forgot to
4
mention,
coming
I
up.
actually forgot to roll leadership on these guys. They ran away, so because they took two guys died out of the unit of 4, so they're basically just running away off the board. We're going to take them off the board.
Oh no, it's fine.
Back in a
so
bit.
yeah, we're already into the next turn, but just rounding up what happened here. We won combat again by 5. 2 guys died, 1 reanimated. They lost combat terribly, but they have stubborn, so they stuck around. Power weapons went into the unit this time. He didn't bother trying to go for the Lord. Over here, Catan moved forward, ignores terrain. He doesn't care. He just sneezes over that wreck, chop those guys down, kill 4 guys, cut them down, consolidated only 1 inch, unfortunately. These guys look like they're coming up towards me now. I tried to fire with these guys to glance this guy, but no luck. These guys here tried to fire and penetrate that guy, but no luck as well. So, you know, there we are. And it's on to bottom of turn 4. Bottom of turn 4, what happened? Brave little combat here. We killed everybody, lost 1 guy, but the Commissar stuck around, failed his first leadership, stubborn, but then executed his 1 remaining buddy, and then he stuck it out in combat. So he's holding back my entire wave of Necrons there on his own. Some shooting in here. Those guys, plasma guns in here, gun down, put a bazillion wounds on me. I'm down to 1 wound because of my invulnerable save. And then this guy tried to fire the big blast, but mercifully it drifted off of me. So I'm still alive there. And I think that was mostly it. Medusa shot into here, killed 1 guy, killed 2 guys, but 1 reanimated. That was it. Okay, so they're not fearless. No. So what happened here? We finally cleaved this 1 poor bastard down. He didn't kill anybody. We exploded that Medusa tank with these shots over here. We flew out there. Catan unfortunately whiffed his attacks, killed only 1 guy, but they didn't run. So he's got annoyed over there. And his guys are actually moving on to the objective. Those are some reserves that came on a turn ago that helped to gun down the Toon Spider. And they're actually only that objective, so if the game ends now, it's probably going to be a tie. Unless I can win that combat and consolidate nearby. So we're going to see what happens. Medusa firing. Okay, so bottom of turn 5, what happened? Nuked into these guys, killed 2 of them. They made their leadership, and 1 guy reanimated, so they're on the objective here. Over here, stupid Catan whiffed a bunch of attacks and left 1 guy alive. I only got 2 kills out of my 4 attacks, so 1 guy survived. He made his leadership because he's a big jerk, so I wasn't able to contest there, so we're going to see if the game ends. Are you ready? We're going to roll the dice. So do you want to roll for the dice for us? Grab a dice and roll it up. Oh, hold on. Okay, well, I'm filming. Let's go.
Are you filming?
Yeah, let's go. Roll that dice. You're going. I want to see the game ends. The game ends! So it's actually a tie because the Catan, the jerk that he is, couldn't make it through a bunch of wieners to contest there, but very good game. Hey, thanks for the game, man. Appreciate it.
Man.
Thank you. Very good game. Appreciate it. Yeah, a lot of carnage on the board, a lot of stuff died. Scarabs, absolute carnage, just obliterating vehicles, but then they got punished for their insolence afterwards. Pretty cool.